Twin Tuesday. Woo, woo, woo. We got Dakota on this episode. He's excited to be here because we're filming from Mi Casa. Mi Casa. Well, not Mi Casa anymore, but Su Casa, Su Casa. I'm Dr. Johanna.
I'm Dr. Madeline.
And go ahead.
We're your awesome family chiropractors at Atlas Chiropractic Center in St. Pete, Florida, where our jam is pregnant and postpartum mamas.
Yep. And their families.
If you're hopping on the live, go ahead and drop some emojis down. Say hi to Dakota. He loves when y'all say hi.
Yes, he
And if you're catching the replay, that's cool too. Just comment replay down below. We're super excited to be here today. It is Twin Tuesday.
It is.
We're in St. Pete, Florida. It's beautiful out today.
Yeah,
So
it almost
pretty.
makes you forget the craziness that's going on. And I have been seeing so many people walking and riding their bikes and walking their kiddos around and all the things that you can possibly do outside in your neighborhood during this crazy time. So it's kind of neat to see, right? Because like people are reconnecting, and I think you said that someone you were speaking with was saying it's almost like we're living back in the 70s because people are, besides having to connect to do schoolwork, people are disconnecting more from social aspects of like technology and reconnecting with social aspects of grounding and being outside and Mother Nature, because that's all we're really able to do right now.
But it's cool, it's good, and it's good for you and your health, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as the craziness ensues a little bit, we have, of course, always wanted to give you information to empower you on your healthcare journey.
Yep.
We're definitely bringing you topics that our patients are struggling with right now and people that we talk to are, and sleep is definitely one of them. Across the board, I think most people we've talked to are not sleeping as well. They're having trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, getting restful sleep, that type of thing. Why do you think that is? I didn't tell her I was going to ask this, so I'll see what her answer is.
Well, I'm assuming it's because of all the craziness that's going on in the world right now.
Increased stress?
Increased stress. It's really hard to disconnect, even when you have to, I would say, be very conscious of taking action to disconnect from the crazy world. Plenty of time before bed, which I'm sure we're going to talk about and give you advice on, because otherwise you're just constantly seeing it. When you turn the TV on, when you're on social media, when you turn the radio on, when you're talking with your family, and unless you're making a conscious effort to change and shift that, the stress will increase, almost like the stress, the anxiety, the depression, the craziness of the world. So definitely listen up.
Stress is definitely higher right now, right? So we know that across the board. And if you have followed us for a little bit, you know that I normally tell my patients way before this even started that telling me that you don't manage your stress at all is no longer an option in today's world, but especially now. Because even if you have stress management techniques that you have been using prior to this virus kind of coming up and shifting our lives a bit, it's still even harder to manage because we are essentially waking up in a stressful state. We're going to sleep in a stressful state. Some of us are constantly watching the news or listening to the radio, constantly talking about it with surrounding people. So we're just always heightened and stressed. And this is important because when we are heightened and stressed, it does change our body. It changes how our body is able to manage and handle that stress. And that influences our immune system, which is really important all the time. And we talk to our patients about this all the time. So we want your immune system to work the best way possible. We want to decrease that stress, giving more resources to your body to use it. One of the ways we heal is sleep. So if we're not sleeping, then you're not healing, your body's not repairing, it's not making new healthier cells and helping you be the best that you possibly can be during this time. So there are some things I would say that people can absolutely do to help shift that and hopefully sleep a little bit better so our bodies are healing better and feeling better. Yeah. What are some tips? What are your top ones?
Well, I love the disconnecting 30 to 60 minutes before bed, and that can be a couple of different things. Like I would say 30 minutes before bed, if you're able to, I would disconnect from your phones and from TV, because they have the electronics. The light that comes in from those things is a lot of time it's blue light and light in general will affect eyes, so it won't release the right hormones to help make you sleepy. It'll prevent that from happening fully, so you're more awake when you try to go to sleep. So that's one way to get you more into a sleepy state. Plus, right now, for me, more than that, the disconnecting from social or from electronics is disconnecting from everything that's going on. Because I don't know about y'all, I go down the rabbit hole, it's like a train wreck. I'm like, I'm not gonna engage, I'm not gonna read social media, and then I get in front of me, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all this crazy stuff going on. This person's opinion, that person. I'm like, and then I'm like, I'm down the rabbit hole like deep.
What's really cool is if you guys get to, well, you're going to realize this is you get to choose. You get to choose if you are living and making your decisions out of fear, or if you're going to choose and do that out of empowerment and love, and where you're getting that information or resources from. I talked about this a little bit earlier on a different live stream. I completely understand with what is going on. It's real. Nobody's not saying that it is, and that it's not something you should be considering and doing your due diligence on.
Absolutely.
But you get to choose still what decisions you're making if you're going to live in fear. And there is a lot you can do to support your immune system. There is a lot you can do to manage your stress in your life. You can still connect with people right now. There's still Mother Nature's available. So we do have choices still. And I highly encourage you to tap into those choices, because it's really emotional to go through the stuff that's going on right now. So using these techniques to help you, and especially
you're going to be the only one that can be the best advocate for yourself, your body, and your health. Always. No matter where you're at in life and what's going on, and it doesn't even mean like right now during this crazy situation, you are the only one in control of those things. So that's why we want to help empower you, because even though crazy health things can happen, you still have a choice to live as healthy as possible, no matter what.
All right.
Just to protect yourself, right?
So you said turn off screen time.
Disconnecting from electronics, like 30 to 60 minutes before bed, depending on what your schedule will allow and what you're comfortable with. I mean, these are loose terms. Like, we're not telling you this is the end all be all. Pick some things that work for you and try to start implementing.
So screen time, I would also say, we talk about this all the time on here, but I don't think we do a good job as a society empowering people on how to control their stress in ways that really work for them. So you have to figure out a way to manage your stress that works for you. I'm going to give you a couple quick rundowns and try them out and see. And within this process, if you're really struggling with sleep, it's probably going to take you a couple tries to really get in a routine, really find out what works for you. So give yourself grace within that time. I would work on meditation. I would do meditation. There's free apps out there. Insight Timer is one that I like to use. There's guided ones. I'm not saying you have to meditate for an hour. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it is a practice. It is something you work on.
I have something to add here. I used to do this when I was pregnant, and within like 2 minutes of listening to the meditation, I was always asleep.
See? Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't work now because I don't get to sleep that much for a whole different reason, but man, it was amazing.
Yeah, so it can work. Meditation does work for some people. It's always just a good practice anyway to just be a lot more present and shift you out of that anxious state, which a lot of us are in right now. So that can help with that. So check out meditation. I would work on like journaling during this extra stressful time. And what I would say is a traumatic time, because our lives did get turned upside down and things are different right now. It will bring up old emotions that have happened before. So know if you're feeling that you are not alone. That is a normal process of what's happening right now. So journaling can be a very therapeutic way to get that out. If you need extra help, we do have resources in the community to hook you up with some different counselors and that type of thing who are seeing patients virtually right now. So you have resources to manage and work through those emotions and feelings. You don't have to do it alone.
Yes.
So meditation, journaling, breathing. If I'm having a really hard time like falling asleep at night, I'll do this breathing technique. So essentially what the technique's going to do is if you're in that fight or flight in your nervous system and you're like stress, it is an easy way to use breath to switch you more to that rest or digest, that relaxation state. You inhale for a 4 count. So I would just inhale through my nose for a 4 count. You're going to hold for a 7 count. So you're not breathing in or breathing out. And then you're going to exhale for a count of 8. So you want to breathe in, hold, and make that exhale the longest out of all of them. And it's a really easy way that will switch our nervous systems for us, which can allow you to rest and fall asleep and get that sleep that you are looking for.
Yep.
Those are a couple of different ways to manage stress. If you have some other ones that really work for you, drop them in the comments so other people can see them and try them out. And that's just a few techniques. Like there's many stress management techniques out there. What else do you have? Anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, those are really good ones. I will say I wanted to add a podcast an episode I listened to. If you know Rachel Hollis, like, drop some love. Like, she's amazing, especially for just, I think, females in general. But I was listening to one of her latest podcasts today, and she did talk about a lot of this stuff in general, not just in regards to sleep, but like just overall life, and talk about like talking to someone about how you feel, journaling, practicing gratitude, meditation.
Gratitude.
So we are going to jump back to gratitude, but my one thing that I took away when I listened to that episode is that she had people talking to her about how they were practicing these things, but they felt guilty because either their family members or someone they know was almost like beating up on them because like this is a serious time and how could they be happy or practicing these things?
How could you not be?
But that was, I mean, so like, don't feel bad if everyone doesn't agree with you too. Do what's right for you because you have to do what you can during this time to get through it, what feels and sit right with you. So I found that really sad that like people were like, this is a serious time, everyone should be upset and depressed. And it's like, but yes, absolutely. This is also times that you should be grateful for what you have. And
you have the choice. It goes back to you always have the choice. And that goes back to as well as not as a society really having tools in our toolbox to manage stress and anxiety, to practice gratitude because we've never been challenged to do it. This is a great time to do it and to come out with new skills post this, everything, to even be more present in life and experience that. But you should not feel guilty for being able to ground yourself and bring the peace that you need to in your life right now. Nobody's making light of the situation. We know it is. We're helping and hoping to encourage, empower you to manage this the best way possible, to keep your mind health as healthy as possible through this because it is isolating and it can be scary. And during these times, we know the numbers show that like physical and like or domestic abuse goes up and suicide and those type of things. So it is okay to ask for help, to use these techniques to help you during this time. You do not have to apologize for that ever.
And one reason I bring that up is we are talking about sleep. So like one thing that happens with me, if people are like implementing the way that they feel on me, or their opinions about what's going on, I'm a fixer. I'm someone that wants to help people. So I will like, if something's not sitting right with me, I will obsess about it. So that affects my sleep because then that's all I can think about and like how I'm out of control and what can I do to make this better for myself or for this person or for my family. So disconnecting from that through things that we're talking about will help improve sleep as well because that's one thing I have to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
So gratitude, we touched on a little bit, but just I would pick out I would try to shoot for like 3 things a day I'm grateful for. And I think when some people start this, they're like think they have to have these like astronomical like great grand gestures. It can be something really simple. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It's literally like, and some of the stuff I'm grateful for right now is stuff that I miss, that I have memories of doing that we took for granted. Like going to concerts, like being able to book a flight and go to a vacation that I wanted to do that we didn't have to really think twice about like if we were going to be able to do that or not. So like anything like that. And really when you're doing that gratitude, if it is like about a memory that you really enjoy, kind of go back and relive that memory right now because there's nothing wrong with that and there is joy in those moments. You're allowed to celebrate that.
Even if it's not the same, like so let's say you have a memory of like being, you know, on an island or something. Like maybe you can't go to an island, but maybe you could replicate like a special drink that brings that back for you, or a meal, or you know, something like that, or some music, and just kind of like pretend, like kind of be little. Because that's one thing that was in that episode I listened to too, which I thought was really cool. It talks about like the different types of people that you are, and some people are very like into like they need something to focus on, like a vacation, and this has happened for me. Like 2 of my vacations have gotten canceled basically, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was looking forward to that so bad, and sidetrack. Anyway, so maybe you can't go on a vacation, but instead you could shift and listen to things like someone was like, you know, like instead, like my son was really looking forward to this vacation, so now even though it's not the healthiest thing, we have a small dessert every night because he looks forward to that. He's like, hey, are we going to have a dessert tonight? And so that shifted that in that family for the time being. So you have to figure out what you're able to do.
So we gave you some pretty good tips. The one thing I did want to touch on real quick, so we gave you like some very actionable steps like physiologically or biologically, when we are extra stressed, it will wear on some glands that we have called your adrenal glands. It'll help increase your cortisol, which you don't really want to increase over time. It's your stress hormone. Yeah. So shifting from that stressful state helps our adrenals be supported and work better. Just one easy tip that I would give you for that right now. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff. I see Natalie just jumped on, and she is great with nutrition, so I'm sure she has all kinds of tips. If you want to say, hey, Natalie. But decreasing caffeine is a good way to support your adrenals, and I love my coffee, so don't get me wrong, it is challenging during these times to do that, but to really support it. And I would just try, if you can, get a little extra rest in, maybe like a nap or two, and not feel guilty about it, because again, we won't be quarantined into our house forever. So just using that time to support your body for what it needs as well. Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I mean, I feel like we word vomited on y'all, but I want to try to get out as many tips as possible so you feel empowered and you can pick what works for you. Because again, everyone's different. Some things are not going to work for some people, and none of these things may work for you. And if so, like, message us, like, reach out to us. We have all kinds of things. We're just trying to pick the simplest, most easiest ones to implement right now, and encouraging you to take what fits in your life and try to start with that. And I would encourage it, because now we're spending more time with our families than probably ever in your immediate household. Like, try to implement that across the board with your little ones and your loved ones.
They learn from you.
They do learn from you. So, like, implement what you. Oh my goodness, that was a big yawn. So implement that kind of stuff and start. I mean, they're watching you.
Yeah.
So.
There's some great stuff. Go out, try it, get some better sleep tonight, and let us know how it goes. We will see you next Tuesday.
See ya.